If you're feeling like your body needs a little bit of a reset and we want to work on some mobility, maybe you spent a bit of time sitting at your desk or not being as active recently, your body is going to really love this little session. We're working through the full body, starting at the head, working our way down. We're really working on some spinal mobility and just getting everything moving so that you feel a little bit better. So let's get started. We're going to start by just sitting however is comfortable. So I'm sitting kneeling. You can take your legs out in front or you can cross them in a basket if this isn't good on your knees. So we're going to start with the head. We're just going to exhale, letting one ear come down to the shoulder. And inhale to bring it back. And the same to the other side. Exhaling, letting that ear come down. And inhaling to return. This time we're going to lift the shoulder up towards the ears. We're going to lift one shoulder up and let it come down. We're going to stay on the one side. And I want you to really think about trying to keep your head nice and still here. So the head's not going with it. So we're trying to teach the brain to let that shoulder move without seizing up through the neck. And we'll do the same to the other side. So lifting one up, bringing it down. I want you to really think about breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. And letting it come down. And then coming into some shoulder rolls, bringing the shoulders up, back and down. And we're not going for the biggest circle that you can. We're actually more thinking about trying to melt it down here. So we're just really letting the shoulders relax and release. Seeing if we can make them a little bit bigger now that we're starting to ease into it. And then we're going to increase the range slightly by bringing the hands up towards the shoulders. And we're going to imagine painting some big circles with the elbows, lifting it round. Breathing in to lift up and exhaling to come down. Once more. And on this next one, we're going to reach the fingertips up towards the sky. Hold at the top. And exhale, bringing them out to the side. And again, breathing in to lift up. We're going to hold at the top. And exhaling out to the side. Once more. This time as we lift up, we're going to stay lifted. We're going to think about reaching one hand higher towards the ceiling. So we're feeling a bit of a stretch through the side of the body. Bringing it down, same to the other side, reaching one hand up, really feeling this through the side of the body, bringing it back, once more to each side, exhaling to lift up, and the same to the other side, bringing it down, lovely. And we're going to bring the hands to the front, we're going to clasp the fingers in front of us, I'll just turn to the sides slightly to demonstrate. We're going to tuck the chin down towards the chest, pulling the arms away from the body, really thinking about feeling this stretch right between the shoulder blades. And then we're going to open up, squeezing the shoulder blades back, lifting the gaze. Big breath in and out. Once more to the front, tucking the chin down. This time we're also going to think about pulling the belly button away. So we're really trying to curve through the lower back too, pulling that lower back away. So we're stretching the arms forward. And then we're going to do the opposite again, lifting up. This time we're really arching through the back, so we're also lifting up. Really trying to create the biggest curve that you can. And then bringing it back. And then from here, we're going to come round onto hands and knees. So we want to have the hands directly under the shoulders and the knees directly under the hips. And we're going to think about going into some little cat-cows from here. So we're going to drop the belly down towards the floor. We're going to lift the gaze up. And then we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to tuck the chin down. We're rounding through the back. Tucking the tailbone under. And we're going to move through this like a little ripple. So we're going to start by tucking the tailbone up. So you're pointing your tailbone up. Starting to arch at the back. Dropping the belly down towards the floor. Starting to lift at the chest. And then the head is coming up. And then we're going to do the opposite. So this time we're going to start at the head. So the head's going to drop down. We're going to round through the upper back, round through the mid back, then we're tucking the tailbone under, rounding, and really thinking about trying to get the top of your spine up towards the ceiling on this one. So we're really lifting the spine up, getting that nice curve, and then once more, again rounding through the tailbone first, so we're dropping the belly down, we're arching through the upper back, and then we're lifting the head. Really think about trying to create that big stretch, pulling your shoulder blades down towards the back pockets, if you had back pockets. And then once more, tucking the chin, rounding through the upper back, the mid back, the lower back, tailbone rounding under. Lifting the spine up towards the ceiling. And then from here, we're just going to sit the hips back towards the heels. So we're coming into a little child's pose. Feel free to keep the knees a little bit wider so you've got a little bit of space here. And we're going to just let the upper body melt down onto the floor, reaching the hands forward. Taking a big deep breath in and exhale, melting down towards the floor. And in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then we're going to walk the hands over to one side of the mat. So we're coming into a little bit of a side stretch here. We're going to take the top hand and we're going to clasp it over the fingertips of the other one. So we're kind of interlocking the hands. And I want you to really think about pulling that top hand down. So you're really like anchoring into that supported hand. So you're feeling more of a stretch. Oh, microphone. More of a stretch under the side of here. So you're really using that arm to anchor to help get that pull. And then release. Walking the hands over to the other side. Again, we're going to take that top hand. We're going to clasp it over the bottom hand. So we're interlocking the fingers. And we're going to pull that top arm away from the body. So we're really using the hands to help get that extra stretch. Big breath in and out. And then bringing it back up to the centre. We're going to come back up into 4-point kneeling. We're going to have reset ourselves again. So we've got the knees directly under the hips, hands directly under the shoulders. And this time we're going to lift one arm up towards the temple. So we're coming into sort of like army salute. And we're going to start to gently twist at the upper body. So we're reaching the elbow up towards the ceiling. So we're turning the upper body to face the opposite wall. And then we're going to bring it back to parallel. And then this time we're going to let that elbow come down towards the opposite wrist. So you're turning your upper body into your supporting arm. So we're really twisting through that upper body. And then we're going to bring it back up. And we're going to let that arm come down. And we'll do the same to the other side. So bringing that arm up, hand up towards the temple. We're reaching the elbow up towards the ceiling, opening up at the chest. Thinking about feeling a squeeze through the shoulders. Bringing it back to parallel, then letting that elbow come down towards the opposite wrist. So we're getting a nice bit of rotation here. So we're really opening up through the upper back. Bringing it back to parallel, and then letting that arm come down. This time, we're going to take the first arm, and this time, rather than bringing it towards the temple, we're going to reach it out to the side, so it's kind of parallel to the floor. And then we're going to do the same again, so we're reaching the fingertips up towards the ceiling this time. So we're going a little bit bigger, going as far as is comfortable. We want to still be able to breathe, and we're going to hold it in that top position. Really think about squeezing the shoulder blades down, opening up at the chest, and then we're going to bring it down towards the floor, and we're going to tuck it underneath that supporting arm. So we're threading the needle under, reaching that hand away, letting the supporting arm bend to bring that shoulder down towards the floor. And again, we're only going as far as comfortable, so if you need to stop here, that's fine, or you can bring it all the way down if you can. But we're just going to where you feel like you get a good stretch. And again, you want to be able to still breathe, because breathing is important and it helps the body to relax. If you find that you're struggling to breathe, you've gone a little bit too far. Big breath in, imagine that shoulder melting down. And release, uncurling. Bringing that hand back under the shoulder, so we're back into 4-point kneeling. And we'll do the same to the other side. So we're going to reach that arm out to the side, palms facing down, parallel to the floor. And we're going to lift it up, fingertips up towards the ceiling, opening up at the chest, feeling that stretch through the shoulders. You might find one side is easier than the other. I'm tighter on this side, I think. And we're holding, big deep breath in, big breath out. And then we're going to sweep it under. We're tucking it under that supporting arm, so we're threading the needle, letting that supporting arm bend so that you can get your shoulder down towards the floor. And again, you might find you get a bit further on this side. Big breath in, through the nose, and out through the mouth. Lovely. And then uncurling, bringing the arm back. And then from here, we are going to lift one leg off the floor and we're going to bring it out to the side. So we're going to have it kind of roughly in line with your supporting knees. We want to try and create this sort of line here. You can widen your hands a little bit for a little bit of support. We're going to start trying to stretch the inside of the leg here. So we take a big deep breath in. And as we exhale, we're going to start to sit the hip back towards the heel. And we're only going to go as far as is comfortable. Again, so you might find you only get a tiny bit further back. You might be able to sit all the way back. I'm just going to stay at the sort of level that I think most people will be at, so just kind of coming back a little bit. Because again, we're not looking for any pain here. We want the body to relax into the mobility stretches, because that's how we really get the benefits of it. And then we're going to come back up to parallel. And then this time we're going to bring it forward, so we're kind of leaning over our hands ever so slightly. Don't come too far though if this is sore on your wrists. And then we're bringing it back to parallel, and we're bringing it back now towards the heel. So we're kind of going forwards and backwards, a little bit of a rocking motion. Bringing it forwards again, bringing it over the wrists. And I want you to really think about trying not to clasp through your knee here. So this leg that's straight, we're not clutching through the knee. We're trying to get that whole leg to relax. And once more, we're going to bring it back. And this time we're going to see if we can bring the hips back a little bit further. You might find you can go all the way back now. So you might be able to sit back onto that heel. We're bringing it back up to the level. And then we're going to bring that leg behind us. We're going to let that knee sink down. And we're tucking it back under. So we're coming back into 4-point kneeling. And we'll do the same to the other side. So we're going to take that other leg out to the side. We're going to bring the foot roughly in line with the supporting knee. Again, feel free to widen the hands a little bit for a little bit of support. And we're going to start by taking a big deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. We're going to try and get that knee to relax, that one that's straight, so we're not clutching through the knee. And then we're going to see if we can start to shift the weight back, so we're sitting the hips back towards the heels. Taking a big deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we really want this to be a gentle stretch here, so we're not looking for pain. We're looking for the muscle to release and to relax. And then we're going to bring it back up to the start position. And in this time we're coming forward a little bit, so we're shifting the weight forward over the wrists. Again, only as far as is comfortable. Big breath in and out. And then we're just going to go forwards and backwards. So we're rocking gently forward and back. Really trying to get a little bit of movement through the hips so that we get that stretch through the inside of the leg. And again, we're trying not to clutch through the knee so that you're really getting the benefits of that stretch. Lovely. And then bringing it back up to the start position. And we're going to slide that leg behind us. Let the knee come down. And then we're just going to sit back into that little child's pose once more. Reaching the hands forward. Letting the body melt down towards the floor. Lovely. And then we're going to push ourselves back up into 4-point kneeling. And then we're going to drop down onto the floor. And when I say drop down, I mean carefully lower yourself down to the floor, obviously. So we're coming down to lie on our tummies. So you want to have the feet about hip width apart. And we're going to take the arms down by our sides, our elbows down by our sides, and we've got our hands directly under our shoulders. I'm going to come into a little cobra from here. So keeping the elbows tucked in, we're going to push the hands into the floor. We're lifting the head and the chest as one away from the mat. So we're trying not to crank the neck up. So we're not looking up towards the ceiling. The gaze is still kind of looking towards the top of the mat. Think about squeezing the shoulder blades back and down. And then lowering yourself back down to the floor. And again, we're going to push the hands into the floor. We're lifting the head and chest as one. So we're keeping length at the back of the neck. The gaze is still sort of towards the top of the mat. Sliding the shoulder blades down. And really think about opening up through the chest. Imagine separating your collarbones. So we're really trying to create that length. And then lowering back down. Lovely. And then from here, we're going to take the arms out to the side. So we're coming into a capital T position. So the palms are facing down. I'm going to just let the head rest on the floor. And we're going to lift those arms up. So the hands are coming away from the floor. We're squeezing the shoulder blades together. We're going to hold, just letting the head rest. And then bringing it back down. And we're going to go again. So we're going to lift those hands up. We're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together. Imagine you've got an orange right between your shoulder blades and you want to squeeze it as hard as you can. And then letting it come back down. And we're going to bring the hands a little bit higher. So we're coming towards the edges of, like, into a sort of capital Y position. So they're not overhead, but they're not out to the side. And then we're going to lift those hands up again. Squeeze the shoulder blades. And then letting them come down. And then once more, lifting the arms up, squeezing the shoulder blades, and letting it come down. And then we're going to bring them directly overhead, so they're reaching out towards the top of the mat, straight in front of you. And again, we're going to lift those arms up. You won't get as high in this position. And down. And once more, lifting up. And down. And on this next one, we're going to lift up once. And we're going to see if we can keep them lifted. And we're going to sweep them out to the sides, back into that capital T position. So they're coming directly out to the sides. Keep them lifted. And then we're going to bring them back up overhead. Bringing them up directly in front. And then out to the side. And then once more out in front. So we're really strengthening around the shoulder blades here. And we're getting lots of movement through the shoulders too. So this is really working on all of the mobility around the shoulders, letting the hands come down. Whew. And then just letting them come down by your sides. And we're going to clasp the hands behind our back, just letting them rest wherever feels comfortable. We're going to lift the hands away from the body this time. So reaching the hands up towards, not quite the ceiling, more like the cornice of where the ceiling would be. So you're kind of going back and up. We're lifting the head and the chest away from the mat. And we're really squeezing the shoulder blades together here. So we're getting a nice stretch through the chest, through the arms. And then lower them back down. And once more, we're going to lift the head, the chest. We're going to lift the arms away from the body and we're reaching them back and up as though they're reaching towards the cornice. So it's not directly up towards the ceiling. And really think about pulling the arms away from the body. So we're really trying to create as much of a stretch as we can. And then release, coming back down onto the floor. Release the arms. We're going to let them come back down underneath the shoulders. And from here, we're going to push ourselves back up into that 4-point kneeling. So bringing the hands directly under the shoulders and the knees directly under the hips. And we're just going to go for a few shoulder retractions here. So feel free to widen the hands a little bit if you'd like to. We're going to think it's a little bit like a cat-cow, but we're isolating it just to between the shoulders. So we're going to let the chest drop. So you're squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then you're pulling the shoulder blades apart. And down. So it's kind of almost like a little bit of a, we're just kind of trying to round through the shoulders. So it's just at the upper back here. We're getting lots of movement around the shoulder blades, pulling them apart. Pulling them together. Again, we're trying to keep length at the back of the neck here, so we're not letting the head drop down. So we're not looking at our knees here, we're looking right between our hands. That's it. And then just bringing it back to the neutral position. And then from here, we're going to widen the knees a little bit, but keeping the toes in together. That's it, so the toes are touching, knees are wide. And we're going to sit back into a wide-kneed child's pose here. So bringing the hips back towards the heels. And we're just going to let the body melt down towards the floor. So you might find you can get a little bit closer to the floor in this position. It's giving you a little bit of a hip stretch too. And we're trying to really melt into this here. So we're not forcing it, we're not stretching, we're just melting into the floor. Big deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And in through the nose, and out through the mouth. And then we're just going to start to slowly slide back up into a kneeling position here. So we're sliding the hands along the floor towards the body. So you're bringing them in towards your knees, and we're rolling up through the spine. So we're really trying to move one vertebrae at a time so that your head is the very last thing to come up. We're going to close the knees, so bringing the knees back together. And this time we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to tuck the chin down towards the chest. We're sliding the hands along the knees until they reach the floor. And then we're sliding them away from the body, reaching towards the top of the mat. And we're really trying to get this movement through the spine as much as we can. And then once more, going the other way, sliding the hands along the floor in towards the knees as we slowly roll up into a kneeling position. Head is the last thing to come up. And then we're just going to do some shoulder rolls, so letting the shoulders come up towards the ears and then rolling back. Taking those big deep breaths. Lovely. And then just letting them melt down. I'm just going to come back to face the front so you can see what I'm doing. There we are. And we're going to have the palms facing forward, arms out to the side. We're just going to come into those little head tilts again. So we're going to let the ear drop down to the shoulder. Big breath in and out. Breathing in to lift and then exhaling to the other side. And release. Lovely. And well done for all of your hard work today. I hope your body is feeling a little bit better, a little bit more stretched out, and hopefully a little bit more mobile, because we have worked through the entire body, so you should be feeling just a little bit better. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again very shortly for the next class. Thank you.